Oh, and we are live. Okay. I'm just going to pop in onto the mobile, and hopefully I'll see our live coming up, and then that way we will be able to. Oh, here we are, and we will be able to see everybody who joins us. Okay. So I just know. Okay. Lovely. Right. Hi, Melody.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
I'm good. Very
Good.
good.
Excellent. I am just going to share our live into the Irish Wedding chat group, and hopefully now we'll have some more people joining us. Oh my gosh, everything's falling because I'm in a different place. I'm normally in my studio, but I'm not today. I'm in a different place. So, okay, Melody, let's roll it on a little bit, shall we? So, we had a few technical difficulties yesterday, unfortunately. So, we're going to cover the questions today again, aren't we?
Yes, we
And
are.
maybe expand a little bit more on them and learn a little bit more as well. Um, all about relationships. My gosh, I wish I had known you years ago.
Well, I wish I'd known somebody like me years ago.
It's like, where have you been all my life, Melody?
So,
Where have you been? But I'm delighted I met you. That was a fantastic meeting when we met down in Galway. That
yeah.
was at a WIN event, wasn't it? The Women's
Yes,
Inspire
yeah, it
event
was a
down in
win event.
Galway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that was a good event, wasn't it? It was
It
very
was
emotional.
very good. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very nice people as well, people like you and many others that I connected with. I still talk to even now,
Yeah, I know it's
which is great.
great. I think
Yeah.
it's a great little network, definitely for sure.
Mm.
So without further ado, we will go on to our questions and answers. Somebody's actually joined us. So hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Now we covered a lot of things yesterday in our Q&A with you. And you can catch up with them. We published the blog a little bit earlier because of that, but we're going to go over the questions again. And the first question we asked Melody, and I like this question because I think it also relates to new relationships. If you're cohabitating or whatever, and you're in your first 2 years of living together, I think this would also apply to you. So, Melody, the question is, what is the most challenging thing for couples in their first 2 years of marriage?
It's definitely not because he's leaving the seat up, even though it's the most common one. But hi, Leah, how are you?
Hi, Lee.
Oh, it's Lee. Sorry. Yeah. So for me, it was being clueless, not knowing what I was supposed to do as a
Yeah.
wife, because I was fortunate. I got a house trained husband, so we were not. I know, it's strange. But I'll always be grateful to my mother-in-law for that, actually. And my husband did all the cleaning and cooking and all that. He didn't mind at all. Like he
Wow.
would even, want to do them instead of me. That's how great he was. But
Oh, brilliant.
yes, then come me, a super efficient, super confident, super everything woman who doesn't need a man in her life. I took over everything and I was doing everything myself because he didn't know what to do, of course. And and I was super critical because
Oh, yeah.
while I appreciated he could do things, but he had to do them my way, which were the better way than his way. And
Isn't that what we always think? Like, you have to do it my way, right?
yes,
Otherwise,
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
highway.
Exactly. Like, what does it matter whether he hoovers from the kitchen to the lounge or from the lounge to the kitchen? Like, I mean, the house is going to be clean. Full stop. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter how it's done.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So I criticized a lot. And then I found myself terribly unhappy. And he was miserable as well. And yeah, it's because of those super critical, super knowing everything. I still remember looking at him when I was changing a light bulb, thinking, because I looked into his eyes and he looked terribly sad, and I thought, why isn't he appreciating me? He's got a great wife. Like I can do
Yeah.
everything myself. I don't need him.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
I
that's
didn't.
because they had, he needed to be needed.
Exactly. Like now I know this. Now, so if you're a woman and you're in a new relationship and you have started to have niggles, start looking at what's happening. What are you doing? What are you taking over? What are you supervising? Because you have married an adult, not a child. And we tend to, there's even a belief in society that men are children. They're not, they're complete adult human beings. We are the ones who treat them like children. So they back off and they start behaving like children. And then we complain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very, you
So,
know what, that is really, really quite true. Like, it is really, really quite true. It's going to bringing us on to our next question, because I'm always very conscious of time, and I know this is going to run through, but anyway, bringing on to our next question, which I think is quite sort of relevant to right now, and because it's all about lockdown at the moment. We're still there. The restrictions are going to be gradually lifted, but still we're in a place we've never been before. So, Melody, could you tell us the 3 toxic things that are done during lockdown that is actually bad for your relationship?
I've mentioned the first one, criticism.
Mm,
And there's also contempt, which is also criticism, but it's powered by disgust and hostility. And when you are rolling your eyes and you are, you know, like nothing that comes from your spouse ever seems good enough. So you are the gatekeeper of superiority.
yeah,
And the third one is defensiveness.
yeah,
And
yeah,
in my opinion, all of those things are you not loving yourself enough, you not looking at yourself. Because if you love yourself enough, it's easy to love and appreciate another person.
that's
So
true.
when you are looking at your spouse with judging eyes, you have to start thinking of what am I doing or what am I not giving myself that I need to give myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because
yeah,
it always starts with you. And I talk to a lot of my clients. That's the problem, that they focus so much on the relationship or on the man, especially what he's not doing, instead of focusing on who am I and who do I want to be and how
yeah,
can I be that person,
yeah.
and focus on that. Because the more you focus on your loving yourself and giving yourself good things, the other person has got no choice but to respond positively to you.
Yeah, that's a lot to do with our energy as well. Like, because when we're feeling good, we have a tendency to um, spread that energy to the ones that are closest to us. Like, and especially during this period, during the lockdown, we're together more than we probably ever would have been. Because we would have always got space away from each other, no matter if it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. We're not getting that space anymore. So I think,
No.
like, there's going to be issues like resentment that come up. And I
And
think,
also because you are both afraid, because
yes,
this is an uncertain time. So
yes,
when you are in fear, it's very difficult to be
yes,
loving, because
yes,
you're like, if you know about the Maslow hierarchy of needs, you've gone from maybe middle to way down,
yeah,
and
yeah,
everyone is trying to survive. And
yeah,
this person who might be your spouse, and you feel like they are your spouse and you love them, but you also feel like they are not really going to be able to save you because both of you are defenseless at
yeah,
this time. So
yeah.
be aware of that.
Yeah, and I think we're super critical when we're in confinement as well. Like, we can become really super critical, which creates barriers and boundaries that may not have actually existed there before.
Yeah.
So like during I think it's really important to be kind to yourself first, and then to everyone around you.
Yes, definitely.
But that's picking up from all the information that you gave me. This is actually a really interesting question. Because as we know, the wedding industry has like literally just gone. You know,
Yeah.
it there's so much in there's no guidelines, there's no nothing about what's actually happening and how it's going to be happening. So I think this next question is quite interesting for anyone who's planning a wedding. And the question is, Melody, what is the best advice you can give to a couple planning a wedding that is affected by social distancing?
Well, you are planning something beautiful, but you're planning a day to celebrate your commitment to each other. You have to get to be logical about this. It's a day. COVID-19 did not take your relationship away. It only took that celebration, and it's on pause. It's not gone forever. So you haven't lost each other, hopefully. So the
Hopefully.
best thing you can do is focus on growing yourselves. Focus on, looking at how can we use this for to benefit us in the future. Because this is what I know for sure. If you know how to handle strife, if you know how to handle problems, like big problems, and you survive together and you hold on to each other, you'll be able to do it later on in life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life does not sail smoothly no matter how much you love each other. In my case, I had three miscarriages, and then I had a baby, and she died within the first 2 years of my marriage. And that was tough. That was really tough.
I'd say it was.
Fortunately, yeah. But the good thing we did was, even though I didn't understand how my husband was grieving, because men are weird about pregnancies and stuff like that. So he was so protecting of me, I assumed he wasn't feeling the pain. We had that conversation when I was saying, how come you seem like you don't care? And he said, actually, I have to be strong for you. And then I realized that he was holding the fort for me while I was falling apart.
Yeah.
In this case, usually men give an impression that everything is all good, and when you cry, he hold you strong and stuff, but they are dying inside.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he might say things that are, trying to console you, like it wasn't that important, but he's still hurting inside. So
Yeah.
you need to be very aware that both of you are going through this thing together.
Together.
Go
Yeah.
through it together.
Yeah.
Allow him to also express his pain and his frustration and, everything about what's going on.
Yeah. And the fear, because like,
And
there's a
the fear, yeah.
yeah. I just want to acknowledge what Lee just said, which is really lovely comment. She said, very interesting to listen to this, not just for people newly married. I married 18 years and this is very relevant. Thank you, Lee. That's a
Oh,
lovely
thank you,
comment.
Lee.
Thank
That's so
you very
beautiful.
much. Yeah. That's what we were hoping for out
Yeah.
of uh, out of this interview and the whole thing. Let me bring you on to our last question, Melody, and then we're going to have a little bit of a chat, just as we do. Um, what can help new couples survive after COVID? And I'd say this would also go for any couples and maybe cocooning couples as well, because, the older people in older relationships or long-term relationships are also facing issues and difficulties that they would probably never had to have dealt with before.
Yeah, I was surprised once when I was talking, I can't remember who it was. Their dad was going to retire, and their mom had been a stay-at-home mom for years. And
Right.
she was panicking because she didn't know what she was going to do with this person who was now coming to invade her space. These people had lived together, and this person was telling me was in her 40s. So obviously they'd been married at least 40 years, but
Yeah.
still, this was her space, and he was leaving to go to work. So there's something that we forget sometimes, and we usually don't talk about. Kindness
Yeah.
go hand in hand with love all the time. So if you are not being kind to your spouse, I'm sorry to tell you, you are not loving them. Yeah, And that's
Yeah.
just a fact. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to remove your, because if you are saying I'm loving them, but you're cruel, you're vindictive, you're critical, you are, that's not loving.
No,
That's
it
just,
isn't.
yeah,
No. And when you say it out loud, it kind of makes sense, you know, that, yeah, you might say the very slightest thing, and I'm actually not being kind with my words, like,
yeah,
uh, and it's when somebody verbalizes it, you kind of go, oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I can see that in
yeah,
myself, you know?
yeah. So write, start practicing kindness towards each other. Write
Yeah,
3 things you appreciate about your spouse daily. Like, start to remember why you chose them, because you chose them. One of the most important decisions I made after we had healed our relationship with my husband, and it we're back to good, back to bliss again, like not again, like because we had never reached this point
okay,
before.
yeah,
Yeah, was that I decided, we both did without talking to each other, that we realized that being with someone is a daily choice.
yes,
Every day they wake up, they choose, I'm going to be with this person today. When you have that realization, and if you are not up to scratch, they have a choice to walk away. You will never ever take them for granted again.
yeah, 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 it's
And
very
nobody
true.
wants to be taken for granted anyway.
Nobody wants to be taken. You're very right. Nobody wants to be taken for granted. You're kind of bringing and like that you're kind of bringing up uh, uh, some issues that I've seen coming across on social media recently. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is not part of our Q&A, but it's something that I've seen come up quite a lot, and we kind of covered it a little bit, but I've seen a lot of women in particular, and you help women in relationships. This is where you specialize, and your
Yeah,
book is all about that, and your course is all about that as well.
yeah,
Um, but I've seen a lot of women who are like, going, I'm doing the cooking, I'm doing the cleaning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing the other. What advice would you give those particular women that feel like they have to do everything? They're the ones who are going shopping, they're the ones who are, dressing the kids in the morning, they're the ones that are doing the homeschooling. They do have partners. These aren't single moms I'm talking about. They do have partners. What kind of advice would you give them to get through the next, 2 or 3 weeks?
um I used to be that woman, so
Oh,
yeah. I used to be that woman. Fortunately, I woke up before my child was even in junior infants. She was still, yeah, very young when I realized that I was not the only parent. I was not the only adult in the house. And I had to let go of the reins. And part of that was allowing my husband to be a part of our home.
yeah,
So he could decide what we're going to eat. He can decide what's going to happen. He can do homework with our child. I am not the only one who knows how to do this.
yeah,
The
yeah,
problem I've noticed with a lot of, even with my friends, I've had my friends sometimes saying, my child, like she is the only parent. And I
yeah,
would have to say, hang on a minute, doesn't your son have a father?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, but he doesn't know anything.
yeah,
He certainly does, especially about sons. Like, who would know about sons better than a person who has been a boy, who grew
yeah.
up a boy, than a woman who has no clue,
Yeah, yeah, very
you
true.
know?
Very true. I
So,
think I think that's what it is. It's also letting go of some of the control that
yeah,
you know because we are as women, and I'm talking about myself here. I'm a nester. I know that. So
yeah,
to allow somebody to come in and to cook or to clean or to do anything, I'm like super critical, or I have been. I won't be after this, but I have been I think it is a matter of letting go of the control a little bit,
yeah.
and even delegating. Would you say delegating would help to actually turn around to your partner and say, look, I'm really stressed out here. I need your help. Can
Yes.
you?
You have said the magic words. I need your help. Help is a magic word for men. If you want a man to do things for you secretly, this is, I'm sure some of them are going to shout at me, but if you use the word help to a man, it's like the word that gets them into action.
Yeah.
It's the word, because they want to help. They remember they are providers and protectors.
Yes.
What do you do when you scream? That's them as saying help. He runs. You come there and say, "What can I do?"
Yeah.
When he says, "What can I do?" give him precise instructions of what he has to do to help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you want him to do things the way you want them to do them, without being hovering, you say, "I need you to take the bin out. This helps me to blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
What does it give you when he helps you? It gives me time to breathe. It gives me, so he understands he's contributing something to your
Yeah.
life.
Yes. Yeah. 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 I can see. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going, yes, yes. Melody, will you just come in and move in with me, please?
Well, you could do the course. I can teach you everything I know, because
Well,
I've got a course now. And
excellent.
actually, I've called it the Taurai method. My husband was called Taurai.
Ah,
Why did I call it the Taurai method? Because he was precise about efficiency, about doing things the right way. And this course is full of those things. It's fun. It's like us having a conversation.
yeah,
These
yeah.
things deep in your heart, you know.
You know,
You have
yeah,
just,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they
It's like,
resonate with you because you know them. This is not new.
no, no, no. It's like we have to be reminded. Like, it's like we have to just, just tap you on the back and say, just remember this, and because we do inherently,
Yeah,
automatically, we
we
know,
know. Yeah,
because I don't believe that human beings are evil or bad. I believe that, we are we are good to each other. We don't mean to be, having arguments. Who wants to argue?
no.
Not me, anyway.
Yeah.
I prefer laughing.
Yes, exactly.
you know.
Used. That has helped me. That if I am, even when I'm angry or upset or whatever, if I say things and I say things out, whether to my children or to anyone, how do I feel afterwards?
Yeah,
Whatever I feel, if I feel justified, whatever, but not happy,
yeah,
then I was not supposed to say it the way I did.
yeah,
So when you are working on yourself, of which I have been working on myself, you can talk to your spouse and say, "You know what, darling, I'm trying out something, and you know, just give me room to try it out. Don't tell him what you're doing. I'm trying out something that will help us as a couple. Will you
yes,
support me?" Men will always, "Yes, I will support you."
yeah,
And then you can try to then, try out some of these things I've been discussing and see if they work for you or not. And remember, you have to personalize them. Not everyone is the same. You
that's
know how
very
your man thinks, you know how he's going to receive stuff from you. So you personalize it to him and
mm,
to you. So
yeah.
it works for the two of you.
Absolutely. I just want to let you know that Deirdre has left a comment. Deirdre looks after our Twitter, and she has left a
I
comment.
did well.
Hi, she was brilliant last night, wasn't she?
She
Fantastic.
was. She was
Yeah,
fabulous.
absolutely. Deirdre said, expectations are wishful thinking. Tell your partner what you need. Be specific. That is excellent.
Yes.
Excellent guidance.
Yeah. Because
Excellent.
most of us tend to think men can read our head.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
I've all my
Why don't
clients.
you?
I've
Yeah,
had them.
why
Why
don't you
doesn't he
know?
know? Yeah, and I would say we are sitting here. We are women. We kind of understand each other. Can you
Yeah.
tell what I'm thinking right now about you?
Me, can I tell you? No. You
Neither
think
can I.
you think I'm
Yeah.
crazy? No, no.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
tell him, "I
yeah,
need you to bring me a cup of tea. I need you to give me a hug if he doesn't know how to, or if he doesn't want to give you a hug." I remember one of my clients saying, "I want him to give me a hug every time he comes from work." And I said, "What's stopping you from giving him a hug?" I said, "Oh." And I said, "Yeah, he comes in, you give him a hug first day. He comes in, you give him a hug second day. Third day, it becomes a habit. And then you're just doing it. So now
yeah.
it doesn't matter who's giving who a hug. You're getting what you want. And
You
that's
get
all that
and what
matters.
you need, which is really, really important, is the requirement of the need is really important.
Yeah.
So anyway, Melody, we have run straight over time, you know.
Yeah, I've noticed. Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, hopefully everybody's enjoyed the live and enjoyed your fantastic guidance and your insight, Melody. You're fantastic. I really have to say that. Yeah.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
you are more than welcome. Now, if you want to get Melody's books, I'm going to ask her to leave a link in our comments. You can connect with her on her social media platforms. Do you have your book with you, Melody?
I usually do. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Give me a second. Oh no, this is so bad.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Thank you,
Who is
Lee.
in there? Can you bring my book, please?
Lee said, love this. It's fantastically. Thank you very much. I'm glad you did. We might have you up next.
Thank you so much, Lee. It's so much fun. Oh, here's the book. Here's the book.
Oh, brilliant,
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. So you've just launched your book, haven't you?
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
available on Amazon, isn't that correct?
Yes, it's available on Amazon.
Excellent.
Both as Kindle and print. So you
Excellent.
can choose.
Yeah, you can choose. Lee's just said, my husband is going to, hang on, I'm going to put this up on screen. My husband is going to be asked to help me empty the dishwasher daily. Excellent.
Yes,
Lee.
excellent. Well done. That's the way to do it.
That is the way to do it. That is the way to do it. For sure. And Deirdre's just put up the link for the book. And you have a course as well, which we'll put up the link for as well. And we've just published the blog, and you will be able to get all of Melody's guidance on the blog as well. And if she's up to it, we might just have her back.
Oh, I would love to.
Did you enjoy your time with us, Melody?
I have enjoyed it a lot. Like, this is my favorite way to spend time, talking about relationships.
And having a giggle.
Yes.
Okay, right. And like I said, we run straight over time. So thank you very much again, Melody, for your time. Really, really enjoyed having you along as a guest. And thank you, everybody, for watching. You can watch this on replay again, and do please share it with your friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.